Get ready to innovate your space with Metro Shelving. As the industry leader in organization and efficiency, Metro is here to transform your kitchen into a well-oiled machine. With their premium solutions, you'll experience the Metro difference. Metro's sturdy and versatile shelving units, working stations, holding cabinets, and utility carts are designed to streamline operations and maximize your productivity. Don't settle for imitators. Metro lasts longer and offers unparalleled quality and durability. Plus, the many customization options ensure that your space is tailored to your unique needs. Say goodbye to chaos and hello to order with Metro Shelving. Visit their website or contact them today to start designing your perfect space. Metro Shelving, your partner in organization and efficiency. Hello, Food Fam. This is the Walk and Talk podcast where you'll find the perfect blend of food, fun, and cooking knowledge. I'm your host, Carl Fiadini. Welcome to the #1 food podcast in the country. We're podcasting on site at Ibis Images Studios where food photography comes alive and I get to eat it. First things first, last week we published 2 action-packed episodes. We covered restaurateur chef Jennifer H. Booker and baking cookbook author and pastry chef Robert Gonzalez, who is in the finals on the Food Network's Spring Baking Championship. Be sure to follow along, tune in, and support our boy. Thank you, Peninsula Food Service, for supplying the proteins for today's production. Chefs in the Central Florida area, Peninsula is the largest distributor of Creekstone Farm beef in the Southeast USA, complete with a fully staffed butcher shop to help you solve all of your kitchen inconsistencies. Check out their dry age program, too. Okay, so our guests this week, I have a whole house full of chefs here. We have chefs Josh Bernstein and Stephen Hicks from the Porch Meatery and Market in Winter Park, Orlando. Walk and Talk Media and the Porch threw a beautiful dinner event this past weekend. Oh my God! More on that later. Stay tuned. Chef Josh and Stephen are on deck. Jeff, you dirty, dirty dog. It's pre-shift time, and you know what to do. Pop the clutch, baby. You know what? There's a gas pedal. Smash it. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go drifting.
Go.
Yeah, today was awesome. I loved today, especially because I had to do double shift because we've got that competition in Hastings finally coming around the corner this Sunday. I've got a nice text that was dropped from Jason Lynn telling me they both, Lance and Jason, have to beat me. So
Jason has been relentless. I get texts about you constantly. I'm going to beat your boy, right? I'm going to beat your boy, right? I'm like, listen, man. I said, Walk and Talk's in the house. Yeah. So watch out.
Well, it's going to be a good competition. It's going to be a lot of fun. So today what we threw down, wanted to pay homage for national days. So there's Natural Pretzel Day coming up. So I did a pretzel bun with a kimchi watermelon kind of salsa. And then I took the chicken meat, ground it, and then infused that with gochujang and some black garlic. And the shots that John took today were just spectacular. Did the double patty. I wanted to go a little extra further, get that nice, almost smash burger, kind of that crunch on the outside. So I smashed it down as it was cooking to get those crispy bits that are really yummy. Then we did your favorite, because you did that on the behind the scenes, which was the chicken scampi raviolis. Did the ravioli pasta dough.
Wait, stop. I don't know that it's my favorite yet. Sorry, today was like a...
Well, yeah, then we had 2 other sandwiches coming into the big mix today too.
Honestly, I'm thinking about that as you're going. Forgive me. I shouldn't have interrupted.
It's okay. You heard cabocol and mortadello and meatball
it's getting all nostalgic and stuff.
Yeah, the Italian in you got the fat kid. The Italian fat kid went, yeah. So then we also did a coffee rubbed steak that sat in the refrigerator for about 3 days, just sitting there. He was soaking everything in. And then we did cabbage and braised bacon braised cabbage. That's what it was. And little diced potatoes, and then onion like petals that I kind of torched with a torch. And then I did.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right. And then we did, what's the last? Oh, blueberry pie. The duck.
Okay. All right. Let me just put it out there like this. Everything was really good. Everything. Oh gosh. I don't know if it's the steak or the duck or it's all good, man. Okay. Let me back up. John's photography is sick this week.
Yeah.
And that chicken, the chicken burger, I think is going to win on the photos. If you ask me,
yeah.
Second is going to be coming in is that steak. Taste what? I think so. I don't care what
he just said ravioli.
Yeah,
he just mouthed ravioli.
I don't care what he said. It doesn't matter. I love you, baby. But here's the thing. That steak was out of this world.
That steak was bonkers.
It really was amazing.
It really was bonkers.
Yeah. But then again, I wasn't expecting much from that duck Pop-Tart, man. Like I really wasn't. I wasn't. I was looking, I was like, man, all right, this is going to be.
Yeah, I wanted to push the boundary. So I had some yuzu marmalade in it, the blueberry. I had brie. I had herbs. But shredded duck.
But here's the thing. I didn't want to leave off on a negative. I thought that was fantastic. It really exceeded any. It's not just like, oh, it was good and it was better than I thought. It was really, really good.
I actually want to do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, now I want to do a Pop-Tart.
Well, I mean, I've been asking you for I don't know how long.
A month.
It had to be longer than that.
Well, after this week, we're game back on.
Yeah.
My focus is competition.
I don't want to hear about your, you get it done. And
you hear him? What's he been saying to me the whole week? You got to win. You got to win. You got to take gold. You have to take gold.
Yeah.
You can't come back if you don't take gold.
Don't come home. The porch lights are off.
It's my second father.
And speaking of porch. All right. So, all right. Here's the thing, man. What's John drawing? What are you doing? Can we all focus here? What is this? He's doodling?
It doesn't matter. It's between you and me and the other two gentlemen to our left.
He's doing right. Like back in the 80s, we would just draw like the square and then make it three-dimensional. That's what he's doing over there.
Ooh.
Yeah. What happened?
What do you think he put as the Pop-Tart flavor? What's his favorite thing I've made that he keeps on asking me to make?
I think there's a lot.
Noble citrus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He just put orange marmalade Pop-Tart.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, that's all right.
Right?
Yeah, I'm glad.
And you can actually put duck in there because it'd be duck à l'orange.
Duck à l'orange. And you know what?
Or croissant.
Croissant. All right.
That's
John, I think that's brilliant. And can we make it happen?
Duly noted. Yes, we can make that definitely happen.
Sooner than later.
Next week.
Oh, yeah.
I can drop that next week.
Wow. Man, good job, John. Yeah, don't give this guy a mic anymore.
How about guava and cheese Pop-Tart? Oh, you don't like the cheese. Guava.
Wait a minute.
We'll make guava and cheese for you.
Yeah.
They can come back and I'll make guava and cheese Pop-Tart for them.
Oh, man. I'm just... So I'm trying to put myself in the seat of the audience, right? And I just hear a bunch of fat asses talking about food like this, right?
What I tell everybody, by the way.
It's what it is, right? Oh, God. By the way, everybody, thank you for listening. We've busted past 2 million downloads, and we're on like 2.5. We're close to 2.5. We're knocking on the door.
It's just ridiculous. I can't even think of 85 countries, 1,500 cities.
Yeah, 85 countries, 1,500 cities.
Didn't we move on the arts closer?
We were. We highest was number 7, which is great. So how that works, so everybody knows. The arts is a main category. Under arts, you have food, right? Is one of the categories, the subcategories. And we've been in the number 1 position for quite a while, or top 3, but always coming back to number 1. It changes every day. With that said, the arts main category, we're usually in the top 10. Like with Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney, his podcast is usually in top 3. So, we're, and I'm not making any comparison, by the way. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
To have the same thing that we're in the top 10 and Sir Paul McCartney's right there.
Yes.
That's kind of like, wow.
Correct. So it's an amazing thing. And whoever's listening, I don't know who the hell you are, but thank you. Right. It can't be just family at this point. I'm just saying. Yes. All right. So speaking of Porch, we got these guys here. They're like, I could see they're sweating off their brow. They're nervous. I'm only kidding. Chef Josh, Chef Steven, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you, Carl. Thank you, Chef Jeffrey.
Our pleasure.
No, man. So, by the way, along with the 4 dishes that, Jefferson here went into in the opening monologue,
Steven or Josh are going to have to go through those two.
Right. Well, I just wanted to prep it. Like, this was a big food day
For you.
Yeah. Like, I'm like really, oh man. I was doing good too, man. I got down to like 209 or whatever. I'm pretty sure that I haven't checked.
You're 215 right now.
I must be 217 maybe. I'm doing it myself. See what I just did there? Don't do that. Don't you do it. All right. Why don't you talk about the delicious sandwiches, plural, that you brought?
Yeah, sure. We brought 2 that are on our sandwich menu. They're at the Porch. The first one we shot was the Italian Stallion, which is on a locally baked focaccia sheet. All your Italian meats, some sharp provolone cheese, and iceberg lettuce with some delicious vine-ripened tomatoes. It's such a huge sandwich that I was telling Jeffrey and Carl that I've only seen 2 people consume the whole thing in one sitting, and Carl assured me that he could be the third.
Yes.
So,
wait, you forgot one ingredient. I kept on calling out. Yeah, go ahead.
The major ingredient.
The major ingredient. Go ahead and talk what that was.
The carpaccio.
Yes.
So we put a prime carpaccio on there from Creekstone Farms. Shave it in house and add it on. It just gives it a kind of a point of difference and puts it over the top.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Carpaccio.
We didn't want to be the normal Italian sandwich you can go get anywhere. We wanted to set ourselves apart, and we knew that putting that carpaccio on there from Creekstone and a prime filet, I mean, it's amazing.
You didn't want some sort of Italian sandwich. You wanted a nice Italiano. You wanted it this is serious.
That's why we call it the Stallion.
The Stallion. Oh,
The
man,
mambo. That's what they wanted to do.
The mambo.
Hey, mambo.
Yes,
Mambo
exactly.
Italiano.
I've been smiling all day.
I think it was the one you just got done eating, though, the next sandwich.
Yeah, right.
That's the nostalgia
right. So I had both, by the way, of course. But what was number 2?
It was the Meatballer Shotcaller. So we make our own meatballs in house. Nice fresh bread sauce, arugula. I think the thing that sets it over the top is that flown bread. It eats really well, holds up to the meatball, keeps the sauce in there and off your lapel. And delicious. It's got some whipped ricotta on it, a herb aioli as well, and probably one of our those 2 are our biggest sellers there in the shop.
Experience the perfect blend of culinary delights, entertainment, and education on the #1 food podcast in the country, Walk and Talk Podcast. Join host Carl Fiadini and the amazing Chef Jeffrey Schlissel. Feed your appetite. Find this podcast on Apple and Spotify. You had me. You had me at focaccia earlier. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah.
We're all about it. Yeah, well, I think maybe there's so much talk right now between, Walk and Talk Media and the Porch brand at large. And I feel like we're gonna do some more stuff together.
Of course.
And as we go through it, because I want to try one of the poke bowls. You guys do poke bowls out of there too, right?
Yeah, we do poke as well.
Yeah. So this is the language that I understand and speak.
Yep.
Okay.
Food is the language you understand and speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are you kidding?
I know.
It's not just poke.
Yeah, right. Everybody stop and don't go wherever you were going to go with that. But yeah, we'll do more together. We'll focus on some of the other dishes, and we're going to have some fun.
Sure.
Right.
We're excited to work with you guys. And, I've known you for a long time, my friend, and we've carried this relationship through all those years. So I look forward to it.
100%. And I appreciate that as well. I mean, speaking of Winter Park and the Meatery and, the whole thing, we did a super badass event over the weekend. And
It was a really good collaboration, especially that menu.
super collaboration. We took a course. It was a six course walk and talk. Yours truly, Chef Jefferson Starship over here came through with a course. I'm going to let you guys talk all the food, but like I'm just setting it up. Like what you guys did and what you did, and there was like 50 something people that showed up. The atmosphere was fantastic. What you guys did to in terms of atmosphere, like how you turned, you just powered down and all of a sudden the throttle, and here we are having this wonderful experience with the giant butcher block,
The grazing table
with the fire on it, live fire, and the charcuterie, and oh man, it was so wonderful. So I'm going to stop talking about it, jump in, and kind of go into detail. Let's talk food.
You popped the clutch. You got the first two.
Yeah. On top of that grazing table, Chef Jeffrey and I and Josh probably took about an hour and a half to assemble it. It was massive. Had a great little communal fire in the middle of it that kind of set the tone for, the elegance of the evening. And like Carl had said, it's amazing how it went from a butcher shop and it transformed into what it was. We kicked it off. I had a smoked salmon dish, or a cured salmon dish that I cured in beets to give it a really cool kind of a tie-dyed look to it. Made some buckwheat bellinis, some creme fraiche, and topped that off with some Hasselback caviar. And then I think, Jeffrey, you went second, didn't you? Oh, no, Josh, yeah.
No, that would have been me. But I want to go back and talk about that charcuterie board real quick because it was amazing. And Steven, I got to give you credit for that because it set the tone when everybody walked in of the expectation of what they were going to get. That thing was beautifully done, sir. It was really nice. I had the opportunity to work with Creekstone and their prime filet. And what I did was I created a beef tartare with that. We served that on a grilled focaccia toast point. And then we made a foie gras aioli with a little horseradish was the sauce for that one. We did a quail egg yolk and some local microgreens that we tossed in a little olive oil and salt and pepper. And we topped that off. That was a really good dish. I really enjoyed that one. I probably had 3 or 4 of those while I was making them. But yeah, it was great. And Creekstone's product is absolutely amazing.
And that would be Cahaba Club with our boy Marvin on the microgreens. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he had a good helper during the whole thing too.
Yes, my wife was with me. My beautiful wife, Ruya, was with me, and she really enjoyed that. She was a chef as well. She used to work at one of the hotels here, World Center Marriott, Orlando. And
just that one.
Yeah, just that one. Her and I met at the Grand Bohemian when she came over there, and yeah, the rest is history. 2 chefs in the same kitchen, man. It's kind of unheard of.
You broke the cardinal rule.
I did.
Yeah, okay. But you know what?
Edit it out. I don't know. What did I?
No, you married the person you worked with.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I wasn't allowed to say something.
No, you're allowed.
No. Yeah, we don't need no stinking names here.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he had the 3rd round on that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the can playing on can for pork belly that we brined in char siu, gochujang, and sweet tea. Got a really cool, vibrant red color to it from the char siu. We smoked it in-house for about 10 hours. Made a Korean-style barbecue sauce. And then a pineapple relish to go with that with some bird beak chilies. And it was almost like we were joking around about it being like a king cake where you won the prize if you got the bird beak chili in there. Because it was just evenly dispersed in different spots. And some people were saying, hey, it had some heat. And some people were saying, wow, you just blew my head off with that. So great dish. It ate well. It photoed well. Got a lot of really good feedback on it. So
you had a sponsor, though, on that one, too.
I certainly did.
Because let me tell you something. That was not easy to put on there. This one last thing that he put on.
Yeah. Petal Honey. We had Petal Honey, which is a local beehive. We're a hub for them. We have 3 different varietals. We have sawgrass, wildflower, and orange blossom in 8 and 16 ounce jars. So shout out to the Petal guys. They hooked us up with some honeycomb and which really kind of added that dish.
Definitely. And then I had one with a chicken spring roll that we did. It was smoked, pecan smoked burrata, and I used the product from the cheese company, Selena. I did that one, and I had pesto. The chicken was actually smoked with a char. Wrapped it up. We did a deep fry on that one. We served that with the PTSD, which is put that stuff on anything sauce. And then the last one I did was I took the riff of the panipuri, the fried semolina puff, and I stuffed that with, because they have the poke. Lombardi Seafood was able to give us the tuna loin. So I used the toro, or the belly, and I kind of scraped that all off, chopped that up, and then used a brine of citrus zest from Noble Citrus. So I zest it, juiced it, and then put unfiltered sake in there, black garlic, togarashi, and a couple other different. And then we poured it and let it sit, and then topped it off with Tampico caviar and the wasabi greens from Marvin. And I made sure that wasabi greens were on the side, because there's a lot of times people think the wasabi you get in a normal Japanese restaurant is what wasabi is. It's not. It's actually horseradish dyed green. So when you have too much and it goes right to your nose, that's horseradish. Wasabi never will do that. Wasabi, when it has its natural, what's grated, it's going to have an off green color to it, almost like the Linda Blair split pea soup color. But the flavor profile's earthy. It's almost like a spicy, like rocket arugula or beet with a little bit of spice to it. That's how the best way to describe it. And I really wanted to showcase that from Marvin. And then they had, you dirty man, those cookie sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I destroyed everybody's diet that night for sure. Yeah, yes, we did. The last dish was the Nightingale ice cream bars. Cool story behind that. Husband and wife duo that were pastry chefs, from what I understand, live up north, and decided they were going to go and do this. And they're still handmade cookie and hand churned ice cream that the flavor profiles on them are absolutely amazing. You can tell everything's fresh. They definitely do a great job. And I think that was a really nice way to end that evening. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed them. People were coming and asking, where in the world can we get those? We sell them at the market. We do really well with those, and people come back for them.
Attention chefs and food buyers. Are you looking to improve your proteins program with quality and service by the best in the beef business? Reach out to Peninsula Food Service. With 25 butchers on staff, their services will dazzle you and impress your dining guests. Peninsula is the largest Creekstone farm distributor in the southeast United States. Let the gang at Peninsula Food Service cut your beef burdens away and ask about their dry-aged program. Look them up at peninsulafood.com.
And by the way, I just want to let everyone know, when we had them, I didn't know, because I saw the pictures this morning or this afternoon from John. I didn't know it was like almost like a gold block of cookie. It was like that long. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize.
It's not your normal ice cream sandwich size. I mean, we're talking, and these things have got to be, 9-10 ounces at least. Yeah. So, definitely a shareable product, but definitely worth every penny you spend on them. Absolutely amazing.
And you know what's the best part of my night was having the Somm try to figure out what to pair.
Oh, that was awesome.
What was his name?
Trey.
Yep.
Trey did a fantastic job.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, from
did.
Breakthrough. That was another one of our sponsors that took the time to pair up these wines with these great dishes, and I think that they did a really great job.
That orange wine was ridiculous.
Yeah, so speaking of orange, and you mentioned Noble, Quentin, the owner of Noble Citrus, was in-house.
Yes, he was.
He came with Patrick.
Yep.
Patrick Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was good to see him there, too.
I'm so happy he came out.
Did you know he's actually a foodie? He was actually part of the Chancellor program, Chancellor program for the CIA. They used to have, it's like fly around for 10 years, and they would have these dinners by master chefs or recently grads, and Quentin would go there with his wife to have these dinners.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool to find out that little backstory for Quentin.
Very cool. Yeah, so Quentin was a sponsor for our event in January, our Farmers Craveable event that we did over at Cahaba Club Farms. And super, super nice guy. And I'm glad he got to experience this one because he didn't come out to the last one. And I have a feeling Mr. Quinton will be participating a little bit more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He was totally blown away.
Yeah.
I think everybody was.
He seemed very happy. Everybody was absolutely blown away. And like you guys said in the beginning of this, I mean, we turned that place into something that, is amazing. It was a really great event, and we really appreciate you guys helping us out with that for sure.
I mean, so there's 4, I can mention how many ownership or whatever, right?
I have no problem with it.
There's 4 owners that are involved with the Porch. And, Jay, Frankie, you guys, Mike. I think everybody was really happy with the turnout, with the vibe. I think everybody was super excited with our tasty cam. So just to kind of back up on this, for these events, we're doing what's called, and you know what? I hate to say that you coined this. I really do. But props to you. I really am. I'm like, man, that's such a badass name. Is the tasty cam. And we bring guests over and people who are, staff, guests, chefs, whoever. They sit down and they kind of, give their opinion of the evening. But this is like 4K video, like badass set, like the whole thing.
Evan goes all out.
Yeah, Evan Stout does a fantastic job.
Who was the couple that went like 4 times? Was that at each one? Was it the farmer babe that went? Farm babe?
Could be.
Yeah, I believe it was her.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what
Michelle.
was this? And because we're going to go on camera right now. And I turned around and went, what?
I think that's Michelle Miller.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're all amped up about that. Because I only did the one and I was, it was go time for me. So I couldn't see anything else that was going on.
I don't know that I did it. At these events, I really need a handler.
You did. You had one. She was there.
No. That's not a handler. That is not my handler.
He's not gonna admit it.
No, hell no. I don't get down like that. That's not how we do it at our house. All right. Anyway, but I need an actual, like, somebody who says, okay, hey, you know what? You got to do this, and this.
Oh, Kylie. You needed Kylie
I
there.
need Kylie. I reached out to her actually yesterday.
You remember Kylie? Yeah, that's the one that put him in his place in the January one.
So this phenomenal woman, Kylie Larson is her name. And she's a farmer advocate, food safety. Like, she does a lot of stuff in the community and business and whatnot.
She's a consultant for farmers in the water.
Right.
Primarily water.
So what ends up happening is at our Farmers Craveable dinner in January, I'm bouncing around being a social butterfly. That's my role, right? For the most part. And she comes up behind me and she's just like, okay, what you need to do now is ... And I kind of like, I stand
the
up.
meerkat. That's what that meerkat.
Because I didn't know who it was. I kind of like looked to my left and it's her. And we had just met. So I'm like, okay. So I just run in, and then all of a sudden she was like my angel for the whole entire evening.
Nice.
And yeah, she guided me, and everything that she says is like sage, digital media, like just magic. Right. And, thank you. By the way. All right. Yeah, man, like she's awesome. Anyway,
It's good to have people like that.
but I need that in my life all the time. Like all the time.
You're a busy man, Carl. You were everywhere that night.
I was everywhere.
Everybody
that night.
was wanting to talk to you.
No, I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, I hit every table. I think I got probably 45 of the 50 people that were there.
I know I didn't.
We were busy.
Yeah, I was a little busy.
Yeah.
we were doing different. We were running around like chicken with the head cut off. So
No, you guys weren't even breaking a sweat.
we hit it well.
Amy says to me, Amy E Family Farms, she says, so are you worried about people showing up at these things anymore? Because I have a phobia on parties and things like that, where I just feel like nobody's going to go. It's a thing. It's a thing I have. And I know that you're going to execute, and you're going to execute,
it's Oprah
and you
Winfrey.
guys are going to execute. But I don't know. Yeah, it's like everybody's going to do great. Yeah. But I just like, who's coming? Are they coming? You know? And then,
53 people came to this.
yeah, man, this is so amazing. Not to worry about that.
I will say, Jay at the end of the night was like, "This was absolutely phenomenal."
Yeah.
Yeah, he pointed you two out. He goes, "I knew without a doubt that this is going to be. I had the two greatest guys in charge with the rest of the group executing this out, so he didn't have to worry about a thing." So I just want to make sure I say that.
Yeah, no, the plan was to have the other partners show up and enjoy themselves. Frank and Jay really enjoyed themselves out there with their friends and family, and myself and Steven and Mike and Chef Jeffrey, we worked the floor, and, it's a good team. We have a really good team. We've got a great thing going.
There were the two couples that was over by us. And every dish, they were like, "I only got one," and then the next dish was, "Oh, I had 4 of those." Yeah, you could tell which ones they liked. So
We'll be posting. So we have the video coming out. I gotta get with Evan, but very soon we'll have the some sizzle reels, ready from the event. The photography's done. Did you see the actual food pictures or just some of them?
I have not yet.
Oh, okay. We'll show you before you split. But the food pictures are super awesome. Ibis Images, John Hernandez, the man, the myth, the legend. Chefs, people out there, if you're not contacting Ibis Images to do your menus, to do photography, and you're really missing out. And if you think I'm lying, go to our Instagram, his Instagram, Ibis Images, or Walk and Talk, and just look at the beauty that is his work. And he makes Jeffrey's dishes look good. I'm just
100%.
saying, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of photo shoots in the past, and I will tell you that was the most intense. I mean, your setup was amazing, man. So I can only imagine what the pictures are going to look like.
Which one, here or there?
No, there at the at the
And that
event.
was the mobile. Like
That was
over
the
here
mobile.
is even.
And he didn't even raise
yeah.
half of it.
Well, yeah.
So
I know when I walked in today, I went, "Wow, okay, this is big. This is big boy stuff
It's
here."
serious. Yeah. They don't mess around. They don't mess around.
No,
All right. So anyway, with that said, the pictures are going to be great. We're going to start releasing some of those images soon. But I'm really excited about the video too. It's going to be great.
I just want to hear what the guest reaction. I mean, I guess that's what we all want.
Yeah.
Is like
Yeah.
what the guest reactions are.
Exactly, because we don't know either.
right.
I mean, I suspect it won't be. This sucks. I don't see that happening. Right. So it should be some good fun, funny. Usually people have had a few cocktails already, and it's
the liquid courage sense.
liquid courage comes out in full force. And I think we're going to bring karaoke next time. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that.
No.
Why not?
No.
For the chefs.
No. What was really interesting, because the market itself, not only does it have the butcher shop, but I saw Chef Steven breaking down lobster tails.
Yeah.
So you can get whatever you want when you go in there.
What we try to be is a one-stop shop in Winter Park. You've got various places you can go to, but we know, it's important that people, are able to go and get what they need from one source. And so we have fresh seafood, we have fresh chicken, and we make our own sausage in-house. We butcher down our own primals in-house, and, we can cut to spec anything anybody needs. But yeah, our poke is amazing. I mean, we do everything fresh in-house. We make our own sauces in-house. We make our own pickled vegetables in-house. Our sandwiches, we try to do as much in-house as we can there. We use boar's head meat as well. But we just try to be that one-stop shop that people can go and get really cool stuff, and they can't find it at your regular grocery stores, the big box stores. We are, very different, and that's what we want to be. And you can get some really high-end items at our store.
I think if you're in the Orlando area, Winter Park area, greater Orlando area, you find the Porch Meatery and Market, and you go there, and you don't question me. You just go. All right. I don't want to hear any.
Listen to
Any
Carl.
back talk?
He's smart.
Yeah.
I will say this: when I walked in there and Chef Steven took me on a tour, and I went into the cooler where they actually have the butcher room in there, and they have the tables already set, and I'm like, oh my god, it's literally a real butcher shop, not like a box cut and let's throw it on the shelf.
Faux.
Yeah. So for me, it was great because I got to play with tuna, and it's been a while since I got to play with breaking down a tuna. And the way I was doing it, I was like, oh, this is the sushi way of doing it. And I'm sitting in it. By the time I got done, I didn't have any feeling in my fingers because it was so cold. But it was great to be in a shop that's, it's meticulous in how it was designed. Even when you look at the hotline and the separation between the hotline where you do your subs and sandwiches, and then you go over, and then you have the restaurant that's right behind the nickname at the Jungle. One of the funniest things, I will tell you this. You guys said you had a sign on the door that said closing at 4, private event. John walks in. He starts setting up, and he goes, I thought they were closing at 4. I'm like, oh, what? Because there's people walking in? And he goes, yeah. I go, welcome to the restaurant industry. They're not going to turn anyone away.
Not going to turn $1 away.
I think it's 7:00. That was when they finally were like, we're done.
Yeah. Okay, well, we get so many locals that come in and, we can't turn them away.
No, that is like pull the plug out on yourself. You can't do that.
I don't know if you guys heard, but the one dude came in. He was dressed kind of nice. He was balding, and he goes, Frank goes, I'm sorry, we're closed. And he starts to walk away and goes, Frank goes, oh, what sandwiches do you want? We can make it for you.
Yeah.
And I go, that's called service.
Yeah.
That's the service industry.
That is a restaurateur. Mm-hmm. And speaking of restaurateur, and actually before I get to that, you're talking butcher shops, right? I don't want to glaze over Peninsula because they donated so Creekstone actually kicked in for the event, and then Peninsula donated the fillets for the event, the Creekstone fillets. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And speaking of restaurateur, this Josh guy, restaurant. But then, dude, you have a whole nother life, a whole nother gig.
I do, yeah.
And
the secret life of Josh Bernstein.
Seriously, but so I found out like just casually that you're like the end all be all in culinary for JetBlue.
Yeah, so I took a gig about 10 years ago with JetBlue, and it's been an amazing flight. I was going to say ride. It's been an amazing flight, right? See what I did there? Unbelievable. Such an amazing company. We actually manage their asset for them. I work for a company out of Boston called Benchmark Pyramid. But I have been a business partner with JetBlue for 10 years now, and it's been an amazing ride. We get to do a lot of really great, cool stuff there.
What was the thing when I came in and I said, what? 400? What? Charcuterie for 400.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows 400 people that want to do charcuterie for them?
Yeah, I was trying to show you pictures of a charcuterie board we did for 400 people, and it was pretty cool.
See, that's like something I want to just dive in the middle of it, and y'all just leave me alone. Go away.
He'd be like Sheldon Cooper in the little balls, like a bazinga popping up every once in a while, eating capricorn.
I'm thinking more like Scrooge McDuck when he dives into the
money
and just starts, backstroking in it. That'd be me.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think we went through 2 slicer blades that day. My team was, just slicing away at all the meats and cheeses. And it was awesome, man.
We did for 53 people, and I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. 400, I couldn't imagine.
and to put some context to that, it was a full speed rack. Each tray had full of meat. That's how much we had on ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just rolling them up because I was so sick and tired of trying to lay them out. I was rolling them up and putting them in rosettes, and then Chef Steven was walking around and folding them down so people can grab and go. So they were little like meat roses.
Hey, listen,
that's awesome.
This is the life that we've chosen here.
Yes,
and in our respective food places in this thing, right?
Yeah, he's the eater, he's the photographer, and we're the cookers.
Hey, dude, I have almost 30 years
in eating,
in dealing with y'all right there. Okay, and let me tell you, food distribution and sales and running sales teams with it's brutal. Brutal dealing with chefs, even though we love you, but damn,
Well, Carl, I did 2 years. I did 2 years with Cheney Brothers. When I left the Grand Bohemian, I said, let me try something different, see if I still want to be a chef. And I did. And you're right. The reason I got out of it was because I didn't want to deal with the chefs anymore.
Yeah, it takes a special breed of individual to want to be in a kitchen for 12 hours a day or more. And then it's another different breed of people who wants to deal with those people. You know what I mean? It's really a dance.
Yeah.
And, everybody needs each other. And in the end, magic happens on the plate. And that's what counts, right?
1,000%.
Right. So while you guys have your burns and scars we have ours, and now I just get to eat. So I'm really happy about that.
So this is your payment then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody has like chef's exit strategy from the kitchen is typically getting into sales, right? And then a sales exit is, like, I don't know what that happens. I don't know where people go after, but
Recruiter.
They go to recruiting. But for me, I'm eating for a living now, and I love it.
Well, that's great.
Man, I feel bad for you. That's horrible.
Ask him how much weight he lost or gained.
I gained 25 pounds this past year.
Good for you.
Happy pounds.
There's smiles.
Good
all
for you,
smiles.
yeah.
Yeah.
That means you're eating well.
I am eating happy.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so just to be very clear, what Jeff does here is very special. Okay, it really is. Mm-hmm. This is like this is a very fun, relaxing. Even if it is a lot of work and a lot of stress and doing all this stuff. I don't do any of the cooking, dude. This gets set up from me. Okay, you guys cook and you shoot, but this happens because of moi. All right, so just everybody slow their rolls and the foot off the gas. So what ends up happening is I find that this is like a happy place, but when I get home, I get fed there too.
Yeah,
and
you have to eat. Can't turn the wife's food away.
I would never, or my mother-in-law for that matter. I'm not going to do that.
You're a smart man, Carl.
I am. It's brilliance at its best.
It's actually rolled over now for the last 3 weeks on Wednesdays that I'm actually cooking for him too. And I don't know how this happened. The last 2 Wednesdays I've been cooking for you.
What in the hell are you talking about?
You don't remember a taste test?
Oh, well.
What am I talking about?
Okay. So, when you're talking about like, blessings and things like that, I'm incredibly. So one of our largest, at the time, still really vendor partners for the show is Peninsula Food Service. And the opportunity came up in short notice where, their prior VP of sales had some family stuff, had to leave. My history is that running, sales teams for distribution firms. And so they offered me a gig but it's in a way, it was put together in a way where I can still have walk and talk, from a distance, manage and operate, the sales team over at Peninsula. So I hired, sales manager, hired salespeople. We're doing great. And Jeffrey and John, for that matter, are part of Peninsula in their capacities. So what Jeffrey's talking about, and I'm sorry for the long-winded explanation, but I want people to understand what Bird Brain here is talking about. I love you, Ben.
Because I called him out.
You did, man. I'm sweating now. I'm unhappy.
Meat sweats.
So the last 2 weeks, he's been coming to we had these meetings, and he's been cooking steaks. I'm not talking like a steak or two. Like one day he cooked 24 steaks. Another day he cooked like 12 steaks. Another day
Yesterday's was good because I didn't cook.
No, but you got to, but you still got to stand by the grill. I mean,
I couldn't let that happen to Ben. There's no way I would let that happen.
Ben's a good dude, by the way. Yeah.
So
I'm pulling out my calendar. Wednesday, what time?
It seems to be at 10:30 on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But this is what we've been doing. So we had this one meeting a couple of weeks ago, and he cooked up 12 steaks. This is for the sales meeting.
Oh, this was 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Cooks up. I don't know how many steaks.
There were 6 on each, 3 trays, 18 steaks.
18 steaks. And we're doing, it's like a training, with the sales team and everything. And, obviously I had my fill, right? And then, went home and ate again. I cooked up an 8-ounce Creekstone filet.
Nice.
Actually. Yeah. And I had that at home. It was just a day of meat and a happy day it was.
For him.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I had to smell like steak for 2 days, but it's okay.
So that's the reason why I left that part of the industry. I didn't want to go home I don't want to come home and smell like the line, the cooler, any of it. I didn't want that anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want
And that's part of it. For sure.
100%. I got out when I left the industry, I was living in a condo in Aventura down in South Florida, Miami. And I would get in the elevator and everybody would be like dressed nice, and I reek like a kitchen. And I hated it. And I was like, you know what? I had enough. And that's how I got into the produce distribution. Is the guy who was calling on me from the company. We were talking one day, and he's like, "Why are you so unhappy?" And I'm like, "I don't want to do this anymore." He goes, "Well, why don't you come in?"
That's never happened to a chef.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Sorry, was that my eyes rolling?
Yeah. Well, listen, it's the same mental health challenges from on the restaurant side as it is for, distribution.
Dude, I was sales support for almost 9 years with a major company. And I'll tell you, I worked harder and longer for sales support than I did in the kitchens.
It's a different sort of work.
And it's funny, Chef, you mentioned this when you switched to the dark side, which is the sales side of things. You were never perceived as a chef again, even though you were a chef.
No,
and nobody wanted to talk to you.
And I thought I was more of a
dude, no, seriously, they don't. When you take off the jacket and you put on that nice shirt, the button down shirt, and you go in as a salesperson, you got the bubonic plague.
You're absolutely right. I actually started dressing down, to be honest with you. Yeah. I refused to wear the Cheney polo. I was just going in a regular t-shirt.
Yep.
But no, you're right. You go in and me. Coming from Four Diamond background, I considered myself more of a consultant than a sales rep. And I tried to explain to these guys, listen, I can help you with your labor. I can help you with your food costs. Just listen to me. And they knew way more than I did, tried to beat you up on everything. And the phone calls late at night, you did this, you did that. And there comes a certain point where you go, okay, here's the towel. It's going in. And you get back to doing what you love and your passion. And that's what I did. I got back into cooking and I love it. I'll never leave it for sure. But it's been great to have this opportunity to work with Jay and Frank and the Porch brand, and bringing Steven on board has been great. And it's the life we live, man. It's a 7-day-a-week job. Either way you like it, slice it or dice it. You got to be in it to win it.
If you're part of the circle of food service, it's a 7-day, everyday gig.
You get out of it what you put into it.
I would love for a law to be passed. Everyone would have to spend a year in the restaurant industry so people could understand the difficulties.
This world would be different.
It would, because 100%. We wouldn't have Karens and Kens, and that's what we're trying to do is shed that light on what goes on in the industry. Like you, Chef Steven, you blipped out, and that's why I mentioned the recruiting. Why'd you get out? Because the same reasons that Josh was talking about, or?
Well, yeah, I was a regional chef for quite some time, and I was on the road probably close to 200 days a year, and I've got 3 kids and a granddaughter. Really wasn't seeing any of them, and my youngest one's about to graduate high school and plays varsity baseball, and I really decided I wanted to start being a part of their lives and being around instead of being on the road. And so I made that leap, and, I'm back in the game again because, I found Jay and Frank and Josh and Mike, good quality of life, great ownership group to work with. They pretty much trust what I'm doing, and they let me be me as a chef and an entrepreneur to help them run that business. And they're very supportive. So it's probably my favorite job I've ever had in my career.
Well, number one, like you said earlier, we've done a lot of work together over the years.
Yep.
And I appreciate the fact that when you jump back into the kitchen, that you did connect us with such a great group. Just at large.
For sure.
Jay, Frank, and the gang.
Yep.
Obviously, Josh, you're sitting here. So thank you.
I think if more restaurateurs would have the mindset of the 4 owners of the Porch, I think things would be different. Like what I said in the, and I meant this when I said, if chefs can cook craveable meals day in and day out at a restaurant and not somebody else that they're cooking for, which they're not going to have that passion for, think about how great this restaurant industry would be as a whole. And on top of that, if you're working with people that, like your group, that support you and that have the work-life balance, you're unstoppable. And that's the key that we need. You told me 45 hours?
Walk and Talk podcast, now sweetened by Noble Citrus. Bite into a juicy crunch tangerine, 40 years perfected, seedless and oh so tasty. Or savor a starburst pomelo, the giant citrus with a unique zing. Don't miss autumn honey tangerines, big and easy to peel. Noble. Generations of citrus expertise, delivering exceptional flavor year-round. Taste the difference with Noble Citrus.
Yeah, right around 45. I mean, the big thing with Jay and Frank and the other two, Josh and Mike, is they really focus on our people. And Jay and I were talking to an employee yesterday, and we were talking about how much we value them and where it all starts with taking care of the team, and then the team takes care of the guest, and all that synergy gets going, and the money ends up in the cash register at the end. And it's quite harmonious when you start with the nucleus and take care of that.
Yeah.
But that's the whole circle of food service.
That's what we should have is the circle of
what
food
I mean,
service.
well, so there's a lot of micro environments with that relationships, because like if for example, when I work with a chef, and I'm pointing at Steven, when I work with a chef that understands, the fact that I'm a 365 day accessible person that you rely on for product, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be a short, a mispick, a poor quality, a late truck, whatever. You're going to have all of those things. And when you have the relationship and the trust factor, that that, okay, it may have hit the fan today. They're doing the corrective, they're taking whatever corrective actions are available. Okay, cool. Because in the long game, we as distribution and sales always take care of the restaurants or chefs or GMs or whomever we're dealing with that take care of us or respect what we're doing. Now, with that said, there are so many knuckle dragging salespeople out there that I understand the negative connotation when it comes to how kitchen looks at salespeople, and I get it, and I have been on the other side in purchasing scenarios before. Absolutely, I get it. And that's where these little relationships go a very, very long way.
Well, it's not just relationships. I think the mindset of the chefs, when I said 45 hours, I guarantee you 95% of the chefs that are listening to this went, oh, banker hours.
Yeah.
We've
I
got to
remember my
stop
first
that.
part-time job.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what we need to stop. We need to stop glorifying the idiocy that we do as far as working the way we do. We got to stop that. We have to find that work-life balance. The reason why you have your kid now, you're saying, well, I got my last one before he goes off or she goes off to college. I got to spend time because you weren't there. And that's a huge, gap that a lot of chefs in this industry that have to deal with it. How do they do it? There's a lot that don't, and they get out, and there's a lot that do and stay in it. It's all about that camaraderie with the ownership, and then building and building up that whole synergy.
I obviously, work-life balance is tremendous, but I think, I don't want to get emails or whatever, but I think that when you're starting off and you're young in your career, I think you have to crawl through the charcoal a little bit. You need to go through the fire, and that's how you're going to learn how to be a better adult. I think, I don't know if I would be, or any of us would be where we are today, as if we were just kind of skating through it. You know what I mean? And what I mean is, a little bit further, I never had vacations, or I never took off time on holidays. I didn't have any of that.
What's back. That V word? I heard.
Yeah, what is that? I seriously, but the truth is, I look back at that. I don't feel bad that I did the work that I did. I don't feel bad that I put myself out there. I learned who I am. I became who I am by doing those jobs and putting in that effort. And if somebody in their 20s, and I've had these conversations where they say, well, you're stupid for doing it. No, man, you don't know what you're talking about, because you're never going to sharpen. You're never going to be a sharp knife. You're going to be dull. And that's what people don't realize. Now, with that said, Don't get taken advantage of. Don't be abused. Don't accept abuse. Don't do any of those things. But you got to put in the effort.
You got to expect to do the work.
Yeah.
The work comes first, and then you get noticed. You become an asset for any company. They're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
We found Steven, and we were excited to let him take the reins. And one of the things that we all four discussed was we're going to let Steven be the voice. Steven's going to let us know what he's doing because we believe in him, and it's worked out great for us so far. So
I don't want, yes to that, embrace that, agree with that. And I don't want it to be like I'm going against what you said. I agree with you.
No, we've had these discussions on there before. It's just one of those things that I think still needs to be put up in the front. And again, you're not going to be on TikTok and then you're going to be able to put and produce. Like I've watched guys and gals that are on TikTok and producing phenomenal things, but I guarantee I want to see you do it 20 times.
yeah, it's not happening.
No.
Oh yeah.
I want to see it during service.
Yeah.
I want to see how you're going to be handling that stress when that server comes over and that, this and that, the other thing. I think we all have to treat people with the kindness that we need to, even that we were getting into the weeds, but we have to maintain that structure. And then chef, and I think one of the best things is some of the chef's mentors that I've had in my career. I remember one of my mentors, he was not a mentor in the good way, but he was the things not to do. Throwing the knives, the pots, the pans, ducking because we were closed at 10 o'clock. That's not where we need to do. I mean, at that level where I was at that point, that did not need to happen, and it still doesn't today.
Those are stupid things, right? Mm-hmm. I've been a party to that. I've been a party to that, and I've gotten into the fisticuffs with people in the back of the house and all sorts of stuff, right? But again, as stupid as those things are and bad, like not acceptable. But those are the things that kind of carve you up and turn you into. That's how you learn and you grow. The way I see it, even though some of those things they're juvenile and boneheaded, and they do show a lack of maturity. That's how you learn.
1,000%. But you also learn how to not be like that.
Correct.
100,000%.
I have a team of 28 at JetBlue with me, and 6 of them have been with me for 10 years.
Sends a lot.
Yeah.
We also talked about what's the difference between a boss and a leader.
Yeah.
That's a leader. A boss is someone that you walk away from because they know everything, and there's nothing you could do to break that mold from them, to learn from them. You're not, and they're not going to learn from you.
1,000%. I've learned you're only as good as your weakest link. So you want your team to be as good, if not better than you. You want to be able to enjoy your life and have that quality life. So you want to be able to walk away and know your team's got your back. So it's in your best interest to make sure they're knowledgeable and they know how to do the right things.
Well, I'm always happy to get into this subject. We are, Jeff, John, this is something that we talk about fairly regularly. And it's important. And I feel like if us older guys and gals,
much older,
not really, not yet, but we're getting there. We're not there yet.
It's like
but if we're not talking about it, then who is?
Right.
It certainly isn't the 20-somethings. They're certainly not talking about it.
I will tell you this. I just had this discussion. My daughter did a paper, and it was like a run-on sentence, and she got a little bit down because of the way my nephews had talked to her. And I walked into her room, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Just remember, you were never good when you picked up a bike for the first time. You were never good at walking when you first learned how to walk. You failed. You had no, always said to you." So I told her, no, it means next opportunity. Failure means his first attempt in learning. Always remember that. Always going through life being your biggest cheerleader. I didn't have a father that told me that. And I didn't have mentors that told me that when I was going through school. I had to tell myself that. So I preach that now because the next generation needs to know that. You can still mess up, but you have to learn from those mistakes. And I still mess up. Who beats you up more than anyone? Yourself.
I'm still waiting for you to learn how to cook a steak, man.
That's not that New Zealand A9.
No, that was something. I was just like,
what? Did we miss that, Steve?
Yeah. I can't get into it on air, but yeah, you did.
Oh, thanks, guys.
No, the next time I'll get some stuff, so don't worry. I'll bring it to you.
We'll talk.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. We'll talk about it.
I know a guy away.
All right. What's the? I should know it off the top of my head by now. But what's the Porch? What's the social media?
At the Porch Winter Park. Or
right.
Porch Market.
WP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put that in the.
What's your social media to get in touch with you, Chef Stephen?
Sure. It's at Stephen Hicks 9464.
Chef Life Forever, 75. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be the Chef Life forever.
Chef
buddy.
Life Forever. OG. I got you. All right. Listen, fellas. First of all, thanks for coming out today. Awesome.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
Carl, thanks so much, man. Jeffrey, thanks.
Secondly, thank you for the sandwiches. Loved it. We're going to do more. I want to do the poke bowl. I want to try the poke. All right.
Love to have you out.
Yeah, that's going to happen. And we got to talk about more of these dinners and events. I feel like it's a thing.
Let's do it. It was successful. We have to.
All right. Jay, Frank, Mike, if I know you're going to hear this, thank you guys. We love you. Appreciate what y'all are doing with us. Steven, Josh, Jeff, John. And by the way, Peninsula Food Service, chefs out there, you guys gotta. I mean, listen, if you're not doing it now, I don't know who the hell are you? All right, get in touch. Let's make it happen. We are out. Let me tell you about my friends over at Citrus America and their amazing juicing equipment. They're revolutionizing the way you enjoy freshly squeezed juice. They're at the best hotels, restaurants, and markets. Their mission is simple. Develop a unique consumer experience with on-premise juicing, deliver healthy taste options to clientele, and juice more faster. It's that easy. Citrus America supplies the highest quality juicing equipment and solutions in the industry. So whether you're a small business owner or a large corporation, Citrus America has the right juicing equipment for you. Find out more at citrusamerica.com.